This video will demonstrate the process of adding transitions and animations to your Google Slides project. The first thing you'll need is a presentation that has a few slides in it, and as you can see, I have a number of items on different pages. Let's go ahead and add some transitions to this. To do so, select the slide that you'd like to make the transition occur for. For example, moving from the first to the second, we would choose the second slide and choose this button, Transition. You'll get a panel here on the right with an indication of the current transition, which is none. If I click on the choice, it allows me to pick from one of the other types. So let's go ahead and choose the default Fade. And the speed is medium, slow, fast, and you can see how long it'll take by just dragging and holding, and the time will be displayed for you. 2.5 seconds sounds great. To see it in action, press this play button and it'll preview it for you. And there it was, moving from one to the next. So 2.5 seconds measured the time from the start of the transition to the end. Okay, I'll press stop. Let's move on to another slide. This slide still has no transition. Let's go ahead and choose a different one. How about slide from the right? Medium sounds good again. Let's preview it. Even though the screen looks a little choppy as I did that, I think that the transition has been put in place the way I like. I'm going to press stop, and since I prefer that one to the other one, I'm going to go ahead and press this button, Apply to all slides. Now if I select any slide, I can see that they all show the same transition type and speed. Next up, let's look at animations. Here's a slide that has an image and some facts. This would be a great candidate to do some animations because there's a lot of information here, and what I don't want to do is to have my audience reading ahead too far as I'm giving important information, in this case about Fluffy. Let's go ahead and select any element on the page. This is an image, and it gives me the option to click Add Animation. And sure, we'll say Fade in on click. Ooh, I don't know that I want to have to click to show this picture. Let's go ahead and say after previous, which means when the transition completes, this picture should fade in. And sure, how about, 1.5 seconds. That sounds great. Let's preview this. It'll start with the transition and then the animation. That looked great. I'm going to press stop and accept it. Okay, now I have some other elements on the page that were already visible when we did that transition. So I'm going to go ahead and select the next one, and I'll add an animation. And this one is going to, fly in from the left. That sounds great. After the previous. So once the fade in of the dog's image shows up, this will fly in from the left. Let's preview that. Okay, that went very well. So when you're giving a presentation, you might want to use animations just so you don't show everything until you're ready to give that part of the presentation. So we're going to go ahead and animate this part, this list, as the important things that I'm going to be discussing while this slide is on the screen. Let's stop the previous preview. Let's select this element and let's add an animation, and let's have this one, I think fade in is fine. On click this time. I'm going to keep on click because I don't want it to happen automatically. I want to be able to speak to the audience, maybe take questions about the previous points before I continue each time and wait for a click. Let's go ahead and preview this. The transition sequences to the image, sequences to the text. Now, I'm going to be talking to the audience about whatever is going on, and then I'll say when I'm ready to begin with the big point, I'll click, and here are my bullet points. Now, there's one more thing I need to do here, which is that I don't want all the points to appear at once. I want them to appear one at a time when I say. So, let's stop the preview, and I'm just going to select this item right here by paragraph. Notice that the difference will be very clear once we're in it. So we arrive, the picture, the text show, I click, and now because I chose the by paragraph area, only the first line appears. With each subsequent click, I get only one additional line. These are separated not by the numbers in the list, but by the fact that I pressed enter or return after typing each one. So that's the paragraph creation. Our presentation is complete. We've reviewed it, and we're satisfied that our transitions and animations are the way we want them to be. If you're going to use it for a live audience, you'll probably just bring up this browser window and press present. When you do so, it'll allow you to walk through the process with everyone in the room, and you can do your verbal part as it does the visual. If instead you want it to be available to someone for them to review online, or perhaps in a kiosk, a place where people can come up to it and review it at their own pace without you present, you may wish to publish it to the web. Publishing it to the web allows one different item that we haven't been able to do so far, and that is time transitions. Let's go ahead and do that now. When you choose Publish to the Web, it gives you a choice of linking or embedding. If you're embedding, then you can place it in any web page. If you're linking, then you can place it in any document. There are some limitations to how Google Drive and its apps work. I do recommend that you use links in these cases. So it will auto-advance slides every second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever you choose. So I'm going to stick with the default for right now, and I'm going to go ahead and say we'll start the slideshow as soon as the player loads, and no, we won't restart it. If I were doing this to a kiosk, I'd choose that. If I was emailing it to someone, then this will do the trick. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and copy this with Command-C or Control-C if you're on a Windows machine. And by the way, this could be relevant if you want to make sure that you track who's watching your content. For right now, I'm going to press this button. Because I've already done so here, it is published already, so I'm not changing anything over that original publication. And again, I've copied this. Let's go ahead and close out of this and transition into slides, and you know what, let's even go to Google Drive. So now we've got that link copied, and we want to insert it into another presentation. In Google Drive, my most recent items are visible here, but I'm going to go ahead and put it into, how about this text document? So a text document, although it could be printed and handed to someone, it could also be given to them electronically for their review. So let's go ahead and add an extra area to this one. I'm just going to type, click here to see a presentation about dogs. Now, I just need to hyperlink this. I'm going to go ahead and highlight just the words click here. And here is the insert link button. I'm going to go ahead and paste it and apply it. So, if someone is reviewing your document and they come in here, they can use this as a way to click, and yeah, I want to go see that. And your presentation will come up in its own window and automatically move every 3 seconds.